All right, so now we're going to look at grade 12 theorems. Yes, we're going to look at grade 12 theorems. The first theorem that we're going to look at is the prop theorem, which states that a line drawn parallel to one side of triangle, it divides the other two sides proportionally. Okay, let's look at it. A line drawn parallel to one side of triangle. Let's draw that line. Let's draw a line parallel to one side of triangle. Here we go. We have that line. So now a line drawn parallel to one side of triangle. This line, remember, it is parallel to one side of triangle, and then it divides the other two sides proportionally. So the first thing to do when we prove is to construct. So we're going to construct. Let's construct and see. Construction. So in this case, let's label our triangle. We have A, B, C. Let's call the new line DE. Right? So we have the new line called DE. So that is parallel to BC. By construction now, we're going to say join. Okay. Construction. Okay, I'm going to say join BE and DC. And DC. BE and DC. Then draw height. Done here. Draw height H. Draw height H relative to base AD. And then going forward, the very same thing, and height K relative to base AE, relative to base AE. Okay, let's now go and construct. So we have to draw height H relative to base. Height H relative to base what? Relative to base AD. So we're going to have something of this nature. Right? Okay. And then again, we're going to have height K, that is height H. And then we're going to have height K relative to base E. And then we said let's join BC we have BC. Okay, and then now let's join BE. Okay, there we go, we have BE. Okay, now let's look at the proof side. So we have H, this is our H. We have K, this is our K. And this is form 90 degree, that forms 90 degree, in such a way that is perpendicular to that. So now remember it's a prop theorem. We are proving if these two sides are in proportion. And when we talk about proportion, will be anticipating ratio, and to get that, it means there's a division that is included in that case. So now let's look at the area of a triangle. Area of triangle ADE. That's the triangle ADE. This triangle ADE, right? And then divide by the area of triangle, divide by the area of triangle BDE. And then we're looking at this. We're looking at this triangle. So what we're interested in is the side in proportion. If the sides are the two triangles, if a line drawn parallel to one side of triangles, and then the two other sides are in proportion, that's what we are interested in. Okay, so now we know how to calculate area. Area, it's half base multiplied by perpendicular height. Okay, let's look at the area of the first one. That will be equal to half base. The base will be AD, then we'll multiply by AD, and then multiply by what? Perpendicular height. The perpendicular height will be H. Then we're going to have H. Then divided by that. So now with ADH, we're going to have 1/2 multiplied by base. Our base will be BD multiplied by perpendicular height. Then this triangle will contain a perpendicular height of what? Of H, right? Then we're going to say multiply by H. Then from there we're going to divide. Let's divide this, divide by that. It's 1. H divided by H, that is also 1. Then we're going to have AD divided by BD. AD divided by BD. Right. Then you can use the common vertex, or they have the same height. Right. So the reason now can be the common vertex. Common vertex E. Right. Now let's look at the other side of this triangle, which is this other side, which is the side. Let's look at it. So now we're going to look at the area again. We now have area. We now have area of triangle ADE divided by the area of triangle. We now focusing on triangle EC, or this triangle CED. So we're going to have triangle CED Then the area of triangle ADE, we're going to have 1/2. Then what will be our base? Then we have this triangle over here. We have the height over here, that is perpendicular height. Then our base will be AE. Okay, we have this triangle here with our base AE, and then we have perpendicular height, which is K. then we're going to have base AE multiply by K, and then all divided by 1/2. You know the area to calculate, the formula to calculate area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is given by half base multiplied by perpendicular height. That is the formula. Then we also have EC. We also have EC multiplied by K. And then now half divided by half, it's 1. K divided by K, it is 1. And then we're going to have equal to, then AE, that will be equal to, that will be divided by EC. Right. Okay. So now in this case, we have a common vertex D, or they have the same height. Right. Okay. So now if we can look at area of triangle ADE, it is common. Area of triangle ADE. Area of triangle ADE, it is common. And then now looking at the area again of triangle BDE, it is equal to the area of triangle, CEB. Area of triangle CEB. What is the reason behind? They have same base. Okay. They have same base, and then they have same height lying between the parallel lines. The same height lying between the parallel lines. The same height lying between the parallel lines. These are the parallel lines, and then they have the same height. Here is the height that we're talking about. Same height lying between the parallel lines. That is the reason why we're saying these two are equal. Let me take note of that. Let me write it here. The reason. Then I'm going to write it down there. We have same base and height. We have same base and height. The height is lying between the parallel lines, which is DE and BC. Now we can conclude to say that the area of triangle ADE divided by the area of triangle BDE, it is equal to the area of triangle ADE divided by the area of triangle CED. Right. And then we know that that will be equal to what? The final answer, that will give us AD divided by BD to be equal to AE divided by EC, which is here. This is the final answer, our final proof. Then it is true that if a line drawn parallel to one side of triangle, it divides the other two sides proportionally, because we can see that AD divided by BD, it is equal to AE divided by E.